So Scott, introduce yourself. Who are you?
Oh, that's great. I'm Scott Kerman. I use he, him pronouns. I'm the executive director of Blanchet House and Blanchet Farm. We're just right down the street from Lance and CityTeam, and we're so excited to welcome you to the neighborhood that we have been a part of for 73 years. So, yeah, you're the new kids on the block.
We are. I am. We are. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you have been a big part of us getting ready for this. Our time together, meeting and just talking about things to be prepared for in Old Town and who is who. And I've met a lot of people through you, which I'm very grateful for. But I want to talk about Bethany's room. That's what we're really here
Okay.
to
We can
talk
talk about
about.
Bethany's room.
Because that's the new. We're sitting in front of our new building, which is amazing and exciting.
That's right. You're going to be old news before you know it because we're going to open up our new space.
Wait to be old news. To be perfectly honest, when there's no cameras in front of me and I don't have to do any more interviews for a few years, I welcome that. So hurry up, open up.
It'll never end.
What is Bethany's room?
What is Bethany's room? Okay, well, just to set the stage a little bit, so what we do at Blanchet House is we serve meals. We serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner 6 days a week to anybody who needs a meal. We are on track this year to serve 400,000 hot meals, and we serve it almost like restaurant style. So we bring plated dishes to the tables that our meal guests are sitting at, and we have volunteers who help with that. They also pour beverages and bus the tables. So it's a real place of hospitality, which is why we're officially called the Blanchet House of Hospitality. We also run two residential programs for men. One of those programs are right here in Old Town. It's a long-term transitional program, about 9 months or longer, for about up to 50 men. And then we have Blanchet Farm out in beautiful Yamhill County, which is a place where up to 24 men spend time with us in their addiction recovery. So it's a one-of-a-kind program. We have a 62-acre farm that's about an hour from here, and a real place of healing and support. Enough about that. But we haven't had any residential programs for women, but we are seeing more and more women coming to our meal service program since the pandemic. For most of our 73-year history serving meals, we didn't often see a lot of women. Old Town traditionally, historically, was not a safe place, not a great place for women experiencing unsheltered homelessness to live. Certainly, it's still not a place where we see a lot of families or women with children. But as we were seeing more and more women come to our services, as we were learning more about the horrors and the violence that they experience at night on the street, and for the last 6 years until just recently, there haven't been any places for women to go on an emergency basis if they needed a place to sleep tonight. We have some amazing shelters for women in this community, including really amazing shelters who are working with victims of domestic violence, but there's often waiting lists. And so it might take maybe a couple of days or longer before someone could get a bed. Responding to that moral injury of having to tell so many women, we're sorry, we can't help you, we don't have any place to send you, we decided to open up a shelter of our own. This is through happenstance and the effect of an election coinciding with our new mayor's plan, Portland Mayor Keith Wilson's plan to open up overnight emergency shelters. And to date, I think the mayor and the city have opened up 4 or 5 or 6 shelters now, including one that is dedicated to women, not too far from where we're sitting today, the Safes shelter. That doesn't make our new shelter superfluous because there's a huge need. Some of the other shelters that have opened are mixed gender, and not all women or trans women or non-binary individuals will feel comfortable in that mixed gender space. So
Women in general. I
yeah.
mean, I
So this has become a long answer to a short question, and I'm sorry, but we're it's I figured that as well, and so Bethany's Room, the name of our shelter, we just got the permit to do our remodel. You know how that is, and we've got a schedule that probably puts us at a grand opening for the shelter in mid-January. A little longer off than we had hoped when we started this project, but these things happen as they happen. Sometimes literally can't fight City Hall, but these things just take time. And
have a mayor that likes
yeah,
to move
no,
things along.
and the delay has nothing to do with the mayor, but it's just, and now it's just a part of getting the contractors in. We're doing a lot of trauma-informed design. It's going to be a wonderful space. And I suppose I should talk about Bethany.
Yes, who is Bethany?
Okay. I have taken over your interview, but I am. Lance and I, by the way, are, if there was an Olympics, there was an Olympic category for talking. Like if there was a synchronized talking Olympics competition, we would gold. We would gold for sure. Right. So I'm here to.
That's a good thing.
I'm here to help you out. Because your voice is going to need rest. So Bethany's Room is being named for a meal guest who had been with Blanchet House, receiving services at Blanchet House for a very long time. I've been at Blanchet House for 6 years now, and I remember Bethany from my earliest days and weeks of joining this amazing organization. Just about over a year ago, Bethany was tragically killed, not too far from where we're sitting as well, in a hit and run accident in the middle of the night. And I think for myself, for my staff, it was the final straw, perhaps. It was at that moment where we just said enough. We have to do something. We experienced too much tragedy in this work. We know too many people who have tragically lost their lives, who have come to us for meal services, men and women. But we also know for the women who don't meet with the same fate that Bethany tragically did, they are still suffering unspeakable horrors and violence in the night. And so, at the very least, at Bethany's Room, we're going to give 75 women, trans individuals as well, the opportunity to be safe, get some rest, and certainly we know at the very least that's 75 people who are not going to be killed by a car like Bethany did in the middle of the night. So that's the inspiration behind Bethany's Room.
Let's talk about services. Will there be any case management? Will you be able to meet with these women beyond shelter, or are we talking strictly shelter? And I'm genuinely curious because I don't know.
No, that's a really good question. So for an overnight shelter, there are not going to be a lot of services, certainly not compared to what we offer the people in our transitional program, what we offer to people during our meal services even. But one of the things that we are focusing on in this shelter is connecting with amazing provider partners in the community, whether that's Rosehaven, which provides incredible day services for women, and is only a handful of blocks away from where Bethany's Room will be located. Central City Concern, Transition Projects, our DV shelter partners, Bybee Lakes, CityTeam, because you offer services for women, right?
We do.
That we can help create a continuum of care with these organizations around what will often be shared clients, people who already receive services at Rosehaven who will now be staying with us at Bethany's Room.
Yes.
And if we can get the funding, because the answers to all of your questions is often money.
Yes.
If we can get the funding, then we would love to build out a robust peer support network
Yes.
where peer teams would provide services at Blanchet House mealtimes, at Bethany's Room, and then at Rosehaven.
Yes.
And honestly, I think for the low price of about $250,000, we could fund that.
Right.
And I don't know if that sounds like a lot of money or not, but I mean, what it would do is provide something very innovative and very exciting, and that is dedicated peer teams who will be providing services to a shared clientele at 3 different locations,
Yep.
which really helps cement those relationships, helps build the trust, and frankly, the thing that peers need the most of when working with clients is time,
Right.
because it takes time
Yes.
to get anything done.
Yes.
And so we're hoping that we can have peers who will be frankly working the phones and making the person-person connections on behalf of shelter guests during the day.
Right.
Helping them get connected to services, more stable housing
Yes.
and shelter, recovery programs if that's what someone
Right.
is seeking. But that's not something we can get done at 3 in the morning.
Right.
And it's not something that you can get done within the hour of a meal service.
Right.
What benefits our peer work and our meal services is that people come back for other meals, so you can continue that conversation. And we've already had a program in place where peer teams started out with us at breakfast at Blanchet House and then moved on to Rosehaven, often seeing the same clients and able to continue those conversations. For a couple of years, we benefited from county funding for this project. Unfortunately, that funding was eliminated.
Yes.
So now we're all doing our best to try to fund this ourselves. But what I'm talking about would be a real exciting expansion
Yes.
of that program. And for those people in our community who are really hungry for solutions, and are glad to see that there are programs that like ours that are alleviating suffering and need in that moment. But the ability to connect those individuals to longer term programs is really a part of what we've always done at Blanchet House in terms of our meal program. Especially for men, because that's who our residential programs serve. But now with Bethany's Room, finding ways that we can continue that continuum of connection. That was a lot of C's right there.
But I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. So that's great. It sounds a lot like your old created OTIP program, the Old Town InReach program,
Right.
which I thought was incredible, and have had the pleasure of meeting Charity and Lexi, and their energy and their ability to build relationships with people is
Right.
so impressive.
Yeah.
And I think that's just such a needed thing.
And from your own experience, from your CityTeam work, you have to earn the trust
Yes.
of the people who you want to help.
Yes.
Because unfortunately, what they have known most in their lives is disappointment,
Yep.
judgment,
Yep.
being ignored,
Yep.
being lied to.
Yep.
And so it's hard to ask for help. It's hard to be vulnerable like
Sure.
that when that's what you've received in return.
Yes.
And so what makes programs like Blanchet House and CityTeam successful is presence, proximity,
Relationship.
consistency,
Yep.
showing up the same way for everybody, every time,
Yep.
and sort of proving our values.
Yes.
And sometimes they're observing us working with others.
Mm-hmm.
And they get a sense of like, okay, that feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can ask for help.
Right.
Um, and outreach is great. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to knock outreach,
Sure.
but
No,
but
of
but
course.
outreach doesn't necessarily have the same consistent presence and proximity that inreach does. And what we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about, Lance, is inreach.
Mm-hmm.
That is, you're locating what we traditionally think is outreach services inside
Yes.
the services. and
Yep.
and again, it's that consistency of being there time and time again
Yeah.
that helps build the trust that leads to the ask for help,
Yes.
and then it also creates the opportunity to connect them from A to Z, because it takes time.
And there's a lot of steps, a lot of letters between A and Z.
There's a lot of steps, and of
And it's not
course,
sequential necessarily.
unfortunately, the systems often make it extremely challenging, if not
Yeah.
impossible, for the
Yes.
people who need the services to accomplish all that themselves.
Right.
We know, unfortunately, as we are moving into a new era in terms of SNAP benefit qualifications, Medicare qualifications, and other things, um, the Affordable Care Act, sometimes it seems like these obstacles are put up to dissuade people,
Yeah.
right? And we see a lot of that.
Yeah.
And so having a peer who can be an advocate, who can do the paperwork with you,
Mm-hmm.
who can call the taxi
Right.
and put you in the taxi that's going
Right.
to deliver you to the treatment center, is everything.
Yeah.
And that's how we're actually going to solve for this.
I agree.
Handing somebody on the street a piece of paper and saying, call this number and ask for help, that's going to fail 99% of the
Yes.
time.
I was going to say 9.9 out of 10. You're
Yes.
absolutely right. It's hard
Yeah.
to go deep when you're doing outreach. And
Yeah.
we've experienced that with We All Have a Name. I mean, it's great to inform, and it's important, and it needs
Yeah.
to be done, especially if the mayor's plan to enforce the no camping ban is in fact going in effect
Right.
November 1st. I think that the least that we can do is go out and give the soft touch to people ahead of time, because I had a conversation just yesterday. The guy right across the street, he had no idea that the Oasis was even here,
Yeah.
3-4 blocks away.
Right.
So, but you're right, you got to be able to go deep, and relationship is the key to
Right.
long-term success.
And I know there are a lot of people out there who I think have a misunderstanding of the situation that people on the street are facing. I think that there's a lot of judgment that says, well, if they weren't so lazy, if they weren't so helpless, they wouldn't be on the street.
Get a job.
Or I don't understand.
Stop using
The
drugs.
McDonald's on my block is constantly hiring people. Like, there are jobs out there.
Right.
Life is complicated, and even for people like us, sometimes forms are complicated.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the time, and you don't have the resources, and you don't have the experience, and you don't have the network to help, it can feel very lonely and very scary. And so it's not as easy as it appears. And one of the things that we've really been trying to inform people about and emphasize with Bethany's Room is the impact of sleep deprivation.
Yes.
Right? So
Something I'm going to learn firsthand a lot about here in the next 20 hours.
It's loud down here at night.
Yes.
And it's the train. It's the MAX train screeching its brakes as it rounds the curve off. There's early morning trash pickup. I mean, it's actually quite noisy.
And sometimes the screaming, I mean, it's traumatically noisy.
Right. So but women are afraid to sleep at night.
Yeah.
We know that there are women who for the first time start taking drugs, especially stimulants, to stay awake at night. So if you're not sleeping, and actually, if it's not just you're having a sleepless night, because we all have those, but to have that outside where you're just surrounded by the threat of violence and terror is a completely different and unique experience.
Yes.
And so let's all be reasonable. What should we reasonably expect people to accomplish during the day if that's how they're spending their night?
Right.
Night after night after night after night after night. Um, so one of the benefit of the overnight shelters, and I think especially the shelter that we will provide for women, is maybe the chance to catch some Z's.
Yes.
To at least not start their morning having experienced terror and violence and sleeplessness. What will we then be able to accomplish with and for these individuals during the day?
Right.
I used to be a classroom teacher.
I knew that about you, believe it or not.
Look, if the kids come to school and they haven't slept and they haven't eaten, there's no hope of doing a lot of teaching for those children, right? They are physically not prepared to learn, to
Right.
accomplish anything.
Right.
Anybody listening to this has had a series of sleepless nights. You know what it was like for you at work. The brain fog, the inability to concentrate,
Oh, it's real.
the irritability,
Yes.
right? So, I think because you've lived it. People who are homeless are not so different.
Yep.
We have a shared humanity.
Yes.
We don't experience the same things, but we can relate.
Yeah.
We can extrapolate from our own experiences.
Yes.
And I think the more that you can do that, the more that you can find some way to connect to something that, with all the blessings in your life, you've been spared yourself. I think the more then we can really appreciate the full measure of what it will take to help people who are experiencing chronic homelessness to move on to a different life.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. So I have one last question. Apparently, we have 5 minutes.
Okay.
And this is genuine curiosity because I don't know the answer to this. Your Old Town residential program. That's it's not addiction. It's more like individuals who are maybe working or just need a place to live while they're transitioning. What's the intake process?
Yeah.
How do you find residents and clients for that program?
That's a really good question. So the program is designed for men experiencing homelessness, or perhaps they're going to move from incarceration or treatment into homelessness.
Okay.
But who are looking to get their lives back on track, be that schooling, employment, whatever.
Okay.
A chance to do that. We do have people in our program who do experience addiction and who are in recovery, but we're not exclusively. It's not the exclusive community that we're serving, which is different for the farm that is designed for people who are struggling with addiction.
Okay.
And so it's a program where in the first 3 months the men help with our meal service, and then after that time they are welcome to get a job in the community.
Got it.
Some of them start school or training, and it's free. So it's and
That's
room and
sweet.
board and everything is provided, case management, social work, other kinds of support. And so it's designed to give them the time it takes, and it takes a long time to just kind of like get back into the life they would like to be leading.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Scott. I know we're getting ready to transition to some national feed where I think Alec Baldwin or something speaking. I don't know. I have to look at my notes.
Well, that's wonderful.
Crazy stuff. So it's been an honor to get to know you.
I'm the lead-in for.
You are. You are.
Wow, that's fantastic.
But truly, an honor to get to work alongside you, and looking forward to many years of collaborating in
Same
Old
here,
Town.
my friend. I'm welcome to the neighborhood.
Yes, thank you.
We'll get you about your neighborhood dues and all that soon. You make
I'm
those,
on the board at Old Town,
you make
so
those payable to Blanchet House, and you'll be fine.
good stuff.
Okay.
Thanks, Scott.